it.
Good morning. California mudslides. Crews work to clean up mud and debris after fire-scorched regions were flooded with mud. This morning, we've got an update on the recovery.
Plus, herd immunity on the way. Experts now saying that it could be reached by this summer. The latest on vaccine rollouts across the nation.
And we've had some warm temperatures for the past several days. Let me tell you, it has been nice. But the big question here this morning, will it stick around? Our own Ryan Crump, he's tracking it all for you with your weekend outlook. Get the coffee ready and open up those eyes. You're waking up with Cardinal
From
weather.
Ball State Unified Media, you're waking up with Cardinal weather with Tyler, Annie, and Nathan live from the Ball State Weather Center.
Hey there, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with us. We are in a slap-happy mood this morning. Look who's joining us, the one and only Libby Kleemeyer. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. A little tired.
I feel
Very
ya.
early morning.
I know some of us are tired because last night we had our big Newslink, Indiana COVID-19 special coronavirus pandemic 1 year later. We're talking about that here this morning in just a bit. But of course, we're tired because of that. But, we're in a good mood here.
In a good mood, yeah.
Able to hold down the fort. I found out, by the way, Libby has never heard of the electric slide, so we've kind of been talking about that. Maybe we can teach her the dance a little later on this morning, but of course, a lot happening this morning.
Lots of happening.
There's some stuff happening not down south, out west this morning.
There is, yeah. In California, a fire-scarred neighborhood east of Irvine was hit with a mudslide during a storm Wednesday morning. Michelle Guile serves the damage.
The sky opened up about 6:45 this morning in Silverado Canyon. Part of the burned hillside came down. This is what it looked like as a small creek on Anderson Way became a raging river. The debris in this video was Rich Pfeiffer's shed.
It came down in a wall of water, and my shed went first, and the shed floated down to here, broke up, and part of it's here, part of it's down on Grundy. And then that pickup truck slid into my car, pushed mine into the creek, and then it followed into the creek, but it pushed my car a little bit up, so the tow truck was able to get it out.
Not far up the canyon, a mudslide covered the main road, making it impassable. Several feet of sludge piled up on driveways, overrunning sandbags and storm barriers. 2 Teslas and a high-performance Mercedes were stuck in the middle of it all.
Living out here in the canyon, it's kind of a hazard that we accept, but having to go through the rigmarole of digging out your home is never something that one wants to do or dreams of doing, but here we are.
Orange County Public Works crews spent the day clearing mud and debris. Residents, meantime, with heavy equipment, helped each other out in between rain showers. 2 to 3 feet of mud was measured around this canyon house. It buried a backyard jacuzzi.
The first mudslide came up to my house, we dug out. The next 2 mudslides we diverted. And this mudslide was too big and powerful that it knocked the hay bales and sandbags out again. It's back against the house, but not too bad.
When the mud comes down, it's no joke, all right? And some of these flows can be severe enough where it can just take out a house. And we just don't want to see anybody trapped in like that.
Officials are telling people who can't get out to shelter in place until crews are able to clear the roads. Many of the affected sections were scored by December's bonfire, which left thousands of acres vulnerable to mudslides. There are no reports of serious injuries or damages so far.
As California experiences mudslides, a dam breach in Hawaii turned a road into a river on the island of Maui. Take a look at this right here. An evacuation order was issued for people living downstream of a nearby dam after heavy rain increased the water levels. Maui County officials suggested people nearby, near those heavy flowing streams, should also evacuate or seek higher ground. A flash flood warning was also issued. The National Weather Service in Honolulu said failure of the dam would lead to life-threatening flooding and significant damage. Evacuation shelters are open in 2 locations.
And some areas of Kentucky are still recovering after flash floods. Heavy rain combined with snow melt led to some of the largest flash flooding events the state has seen, according to Kentucky's emergency management director. More than half a dozen organizations have united in a fundraising effort to help Kentucky's Appalachian countries recover from the historic flooding. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear gave an update Wednesday on how the state plans to move forward.
So I know it's hard, right? We feel like we've been hit and hit and hit and hit and hit.
And just when it feels like we're about to come out of a pandemic, because we are, this happens. But don't lose hope. You know, that's what we do as Kentuckians. We are resilient.
Of course, we're thinking of the people there this morning. Also, if you thought February felt especially cold, you're onto something here. Apparently, it was the coldest February in over 30 years. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says during February, the average U.S. temperature was 30.6 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a record-breaking temperature right there, and a record-breaking Arctic outbreak. Also made it not only the 19th coldest February on record, but the coldest since 1989. Despite the cold month, the winter season was still in the top third of warmest winters on record. Libby?
And while February may have been cold, some athletes are worried about the earth getting warmer. Yeah, as the climate changes, national services for ice hockey are vanishing, and without ice, there really is no ice hockey. An initiative called The Last Game takes hockey legends to play at places endangered by global warming around the world. One of these places is the majestic Lake Balaka in Russia, the largest freshwater reservoir in the world. The match on a rink of ice blocks was organized by all-time National Hockey League great Slavia Vestova, who's the United Nations patron for the polar regions. Not only is the Last Game initiative endorsed by the UN, it's also blessed by Pope Francis.
Interesting. Yeah, I know looking at that ice hockey, it looked a little cold out there, not going to lie.
Yeah, really cold.
Yeah, so hopefully we've got some warmer temperatures here. I know this morning when we were coming in, it was pretty cold out there. But the
Very
good
cold.
news is we've been dealing with some warmer temperatures, right?
And I love those temperatures. I wish they could stay.
Yeah, I know you spent a lot of time hammocking this week.
I
Hopefully
did.
good hammocking weather is on the way. Ryan Crump, good morning.
Good morning, you guys. Good morning. Well, as you might notice, we did wake up to some much colder temperatures this morning compared to yesterday. Yesterday, we was at 60 degrees at this time. Could you believe that? 60 degrees. Now look at these temperatures right here. We're sitting at 39 degrees right now in Muncie. 41 degrees in Shelbyville, and Indianapolis is also sitting at 39 degrees at this time. Look at those temperature changes from at this time yesterday. My goodness, we're in the 20 degrees colder than in most areas. 25 degrees colder in Muncie and 23 degrees colder in Shelbyville at this time. So it is a major difference out there in the temperature right now. As you look at the radar right now, you can see that it's pretty clear out there. After that cold front went through and brought all that rain into our area, it's still pretty chilly out there, so we're going to have to worry about that as well. But the rain chances are not going away because we got more rain chances on the way. Look at this, a chilly weekend, and we also got those rain chances next week, and we also have to worry about even some snow mixing in with that. I have all those details coming up.
All right, Ryan, thank you so much. Just ahead, 1 year later, our sister show Newslink Indiana taking a look back at the past year. We've got a recap of that hour-long special coming up here in moments.
That's just after your weather now.
.09 on your Friday morning. Looking live right now across campus. As you can see, a very beautiful shot out there. Clear skies. I know it's a bit chilly. Natasha will have a little more on your national forecast coming up here in just a bit. And let's get to this story right here. I had a pretty cool opportunity yesterday. I got to tag along with Ball State President Jeffrey Mearns as he got his COVID-19 vaccine. So yesterday he got the shot at IU Health Ball Memorial Hospital. You see him there getting ready, the needle in the arm. And there he is. He's vaccinated. He's got the first dose now. The president, he was eligible to get the vaccine under Indiana's requirements. He says he's happy to help do his part to slow the spread of the pandemic.
I'm grateful to all of our students and our faculty and staff to continue to be abiding by the safety protocols, wearing masks, maintaining physical distance. But this is one further sign that pretty soon we're going to put this pandemic in the rearview mirror, which is, I know, where everyone wants it to be.
As I mentioned just a moment ago, that was his first dose. He got the Pfizer vaccine, which means he'll have to return soon to get his second dose. And by the way, speaking of COVID-19, Libby, what a year it has been. I remember this time last year, we were here at the desk. You were actually still in high school, but some of us were here at the desk just shocked about what was happening.
I know. It's crazy to look back on the memories and think that it was my last day of high school and I didn't even know it until that next day. And even like a month later, I didn't even know.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that. And last night, our sister show, Newslink Indiana, hosted a special all about the coronavirus.
Yeah, it was called Coronavirus Pandemic 1 Year Later and focused on how the past year of COVID has gone.
Yeah, if you didn't have a chance to see it because it was pretty late last night, let's take a look at some of the highlights. Breaking tonight, Ball State canceling in-person classes for the rest of the semester as coronavirus cases continue to increase here in Indiana. A year of COVID, a year of changes.
At the beginning of the pandemic, we were scared, unsure of what this would look like and how long it would last.
Throughout the hour, Newslink Indiana focusing on where the events of the past year have taken us, including the hit on businesses, hitting them where it hurts.
Sort of shut down for about a week, maybe 2 weeks-ish, till we sort of got a good feel on what's going on.
And taking you inside Muncie's COVID Nerve Center, those on the front lines constantly taking a beating.
The emotional toll for our team, and just unfortunately with seeing as many deaths as we have, has really been the challenge.
The emotional impact and how opportunities have been taken away because of COVID. 2 separate roundtables during the special, including one with our freshmen in Newslink.
I want to play club volleyball, and I've wanted to the past 2 semesters here, and they haven't had it.
I expected more of a social life. It's very hard to meet people, especially like in classes. We sit far apart. We don't know really what people look like.
The other roundtable with our exec team. We were like, what the hell is happening? Because there was just so much that was coming out. It was one thing after another.
Well, little did I know that today, 1 year later, like you mentioned, things were going to be absolutely insane. And I mean, we still don't know when things are going to go back to normal.
Our sports team also providing a look at how their world was shaking with all of the athletic events getting canceled.
If you look back at our banter, you can just tell how disappointed we were.
Oh, I mean, disappointment beyond belief, and easily probably one of the most stressful, if not the most stressful night of my career.
And as the pandemic rages on, a message of hope and optimism.
One thing that I know that I'm sure about is just keeping myself safe and the people around me, and that's what I would like to do best for the common good of everybody. So, I mean, just going forward and positivity and hopefulness will probably be the best for me.
I am also, Britt, hopeful. I've got some family members that have been vaccinated, some people who are really, really important to me.
Just echoing what Annie and Britt said, so beautifully put. Now, if you did miss that special, you can find it right now on the Newslink Indiana Facebook page. Libby, you were a part of that freshman roundtable last night. Just, again, your experience, it's heartbreaking because you guys missed out on a lot. You guys missed out on a typical graduation. You missed out really on college so far. It's sad.
It is sad. It's like I was expecting my high school career just to kind of go, and then it kind of ended, and then college, it's just kind of short, but making the best out of it.
Yeah, and of course you can watch that special over on the Newslink Indiana Facebook page.
Now, moving on to this, as people continue to be vaccinated, some experts are hoping that America can reach herd immunity soon. Now, that's when a large enough portion of the population becomes immune to a virus, which makes spread from person to person unlikely. Many have been waiting to reach herd immunity for COVID-19. I know I have, but Manny Gathler explains when that could happen in today's Health Minute.
When more Americans get vaccinated, it's less likely COVID-19 will spread. The U.S. could hit herd immunity by this summer through vaccination alone.
If you look at the planned rollout of the vaccines, that we would hopefully get to that point somewhere by the end of the summer and the early fall.
According to the latest numbers, we still have a ways to go. Herd immunity thresholds for COVID-19 are only estimates at this point, but experts generally agree that somewhere between 70% and 85% of the population must be protected to suppress the spread. Getting there before next winter will be key.
If we can get to 80% population immunity by the end of the summer, then we won't see a surge next winter, because this is basically a winter respiratory virus, and it'll be back unless we have a significant percentage of the population vaccinated.
When the weather gets warmer, health experts say that will also help.
If you look at what happened last summer, when 100% of the population was susceptible and we didn't have a vaccine, still those numbers came down and then surged again in the winter.
But it all hinges on Americans getting their COVID-19 vaccinations.
If a significant number of people do not get vaccinated, then that would delay where we would get to that endpoint.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And Americans are currently being vaccinated at a rate of about 2 million doses per day. A CNN analysis estimates that 70% of the U.S. population could be vaccinated around the end of July.
As countries around the world make the effort to reach herd immunity, one vaccine is facing restrictions. Denmark, Italy, and Norway are among the latest nations to suspend the use of the AstraZeneca vaccine pending an investigation. This comes after reports some patients developed blood clots after getting the shot. AstraZeneca says patient safety was its highest priority, and the vaccine has been extensively studied in phase 3 clinical trials. The European Medicines Agency says the benefits of the shot outweigh the risks and did not recommend suspending use.
As AstraZeneca faces suspension, the single-dose vaccine from Johnson & Johnson is about to be more widely used. On Thursday, the European Union's medicine regulator recommended the vaccine for approval. In a statement, the European Medicines Agency said that after evaluating the vaccine, that they concluded that it meets criteria for efficacy, safety, and quality. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine is the fourth to be authorized for use in the European nation.
Let's talk more about vaccines. Moderna is testing out its potential COVID-19 vaccine boosters for protection from COVID-19 variants. Even though the Moderna vaccine was shown to provide protection against virus variants, it did show what experts called a 6-fold decrease in the antibody response against the South African variant. The vaccine maker says its phase 2 study has begun. The company says 60 participants who were already vaccinated with its original COVID-19 vaccine will be given a booster. 20 people will receive a booster dose designed to address the variants. Another 20 will receive a larger dose of that same booster.
And President Biden signed into law his $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill yesterday. The White House says the $1,400 checks for many Americans will start landing in bank accounts this weekend. The law also includes a boost to federal unemployment benefits and more funding for coronavirus vaccine and testing programs. In an address to the nation last night, Biden told Americans that the increased vaccine funding means vaccines are on the way sooner than expected.
I'm announcing that I will direct all states, tribes, and territories to make all adults, people 18 and over, eligible to be vaccinated no later than May 1.
And the president said that this May 1st deadline does not mean that every adult will be available to be vaccinated by then, but that every adult should be eligible for a shot at that point.
8:17 here on your Friday morning. Natasha Leland with us now as we talk national weather. I know here in East Central Indiana it's a bit chilly out there this morning, but other parts of the country, dealing with different types of weather, if you will. Mixed bag out there.
Oh, it's definitely a mixed bag out there. Actually, if we take a look over here, you'll see that there's a couple of different weather systems that are going to be impacting us today. There's actually a cold front that's going to be moving off to the east, really cooling things down on the east coast. There's a stationary front down to our southwest. That is going to bring some flooding and some dicey weather, but I really want to focus on this low pressure system that's off around California. That's really going to be fueling some significant weather. Right now on the radar, there doesn't look to be too much, some snow showers, some rain showers, but if we look at the watches and warnings, that's a little bit of a different story, especially out here to the west. I want to zoom in on Denver and Wyoming. They're going to see 2 to 4 feet of snow from Friday to Monday. Yes, 2 to 4 feet. That's like half my height. That's going to be a very testy driving situation there from that low pressure system that's going to fuel that snow. If we move down to New Mexico, there's a red flag warning, could have increased fire danger there, and with those 30 to 45 mile per hour wind gusts. And then off to the southwest, there's going to be some flooding, large hail and isolated tornadoes possible, a slight risk down to around Texas. Texas Panhandle especially going to be seeing the most significant of that weather. And you can see that here on the SPC outlook. They have a level 2, which means scattered severe storms possible today, isolated tornadoes, and that large hail. And the rest has a marginal risk with isolated severe storms possible. Definitely going to be very active today out west. If we look at the current temperatures, you can really see that cold front stretching there. That's going to really cool down the East Coast as we go throughout the day today. Really down south, it's looking pretty nice with those temperatures in the 70s. And tomorrow, still going to be in the 70s, where it's going to be in the 50s. Going to be pretty chilly for us. So really, I wouldn't go out west if you wanted to travel. I would stay down south, like in Florida or something.
Yeah, you don't want to get stuck in that 2 to 4 feet of snow. I know that would just cover you, yeah.
Yeah, that would not be good. Thank you, Natasha. In just a moment, your space headlines, the latest on research being done on Mars.
That's after a message from Ed. Stay with us.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, MITS will take you there.
Welcome back. The time is now 8:21 and you're taking a live look outside of campus. Now it looks nice, but is that temperature nice as well? You know, it was cold, warm. Here we go.
I don't know if you can hear it right there, but hey, Perseverance is sending back wind sounds from Mars. The SuperCam microphone is located at the top of the rover's mast. The recording might sound a bit muffled because the mast was still down. The rover is roaming Mars and searching for signs of ancient life. It has already sent back hundreds of photos during its 2-year mission. Perseverance will also collect samples that will eventually be sent back to Earth for analysis. How cool is that?
That's really interesting.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that they're doing that. And you know what? Let's bring it back down to Earth. I know in space it's probably cold. I don't know if it is, but here it's a little chilly.
I would think it would be cold in space.
Yeah.
There's no air up there. There's none of that up there. So yeah, it's not necessarily tropical up there, but it would be a little bit more tropical down here in Muncie right now because temperatures right now, they're not as warm as they were yesterday at this time, but it's certainly not necessarily below freezing. We are sitting currently at 39 degrees right now in Muncie, 41 degrees in Shelbyville, 37 degrees right now this morning in Shelbyville. But at this time, as you look at it, at this time yesterday, was almost in the 60s. Right now, we're sitting at 25 degrees colder in Muncie. Kokomo, 21 degrees colder. And in Lafayette, it's at 26 degrees colder at this time yesterday. So temperatures have really cooled off from this time yesterday. As you look at the next 8 hours, you're going to see that it's going to stay relatively in the 40s until we get to the, late in this morning. Then we're going to warm up to the 50s, which it may seem like it's cooler, but actually that's still above average for this time of the year. And it's going to cool off a little bit this weekend, so I'll show you my 7-day forecast. But as you look at the radar right now, all these showers of thunderstorms down here, I mean, we got hammered with most of these showers of thunderstorms yesterday. And as you see that it pretty much is going to lead to some flooding down there as you go through the day today and this weekend. As you wake up today at 9 o'clock, it's going to be 43 degrees. And it's going to warm up into the mid to even upper 50s later on today. It's going to remain mostly sunny as we go out there today. As you look at tonight, it's going to be 31 degrees for a low. The winds will be out of the north-northeast at 5 to 10 miles an hour. As you look at the precision cast, again, it's not going to be too much going on. As you see right here, so pretty much some passing clouds coming around in our area. It's not going to be until Sunday where you start to see some of those showers pop up in our area. It might not necessarily reach us, but it's a possibility that it could get to our area, so we have to keep that in mind as we do go out and about. Just keep that umbrella in handy as you go out on Sunday, because you never know if a stray shower comes into our area. As you look at the rain chances though, as you go through the week, you can see that rain chances do increase on Monday. Monday, we're going to see quite a bit of showers, rain coming into our area. Tuesday, we might see a little bit coming to our area as well. But this weekend, it should still stay relatively dry. As you take a look at these temperature trends as we go through this weekend and into early next week, you're going to see that it stays warm on Saturday, even a little bit on Sunday. But look at it as we go through the early part of next week. You're going to see that those temperatures do start to cool off a little bit on Tuesday, but we do warm a little bit back up on Wednesday, and we're going to remain like that as we go through there. So temperatures going to stay relatively normal. And as we go through, you're going to see that spring is also around the corner, 8 days away. And as you see, 8 days away from spring. As you look at the 7-day forecast, you're going to see that it's 58 degrees, 52 degrees on Saturday. And you're going to see it's going to cool off a little bit to the 40s as we go through Monday. And then we warm right back up to the 50s on Tuesday and Wednesday, cool back down to the 40s on Thursday. So yes, again, it's still above normal for this time of the year. It's not necessarily freezing, but it's not the 70s that we've seen, even the 60s that we've seen last week.
Yeah, it's nice to see those warmer temperatures. Ryan, thank you so much. We'll be back right after this.
From the heart of Ball State to the heart of your community, NewsLink Indiana brings you local and state news you care about. We pride ourselves with giving you the most reliable news coverage, stories that affect you, linking you to the community each night on air and online. NewsLink Indiana, bringing news to the heart of your community.
I still cannot believe, Libby, you do not know the electric slide as we look over campus this morning. Are you kidding me?
I know a good majority of dances though, like the Cupid Shuffle and like all the recent dances,
Yeah, you were doing a little bit of that this morning, but hey, the good news is maybe you can do it outside because warm weather is on the way this afternoon.
Yes, but this year winter was full of surprises. We saw lots of snow and ice all around campus, especially.
Yeah, absolutely. Jack Van Meter is breaking down the science for us this morning.
Good morning. Today we're going to be talking about freezing rain and ice storms here. So just like always, we always know that cold air is going to be sinking while warm air rises here. So we have this cold air here that's going to be under 32 degrees. That's key. And then obviously up here we're going to have warmer air that's over 32 degrees. So what will happen is when water vapor will condense in the atmosphere as rain because it's over the freezing point, it'll fall as rain, and as it gets closer and closer to the ground, going to get closer and closer to freezing, and then when it hits the ground, it's going to freeze, causing ice. Now, you can kind of look at the freezing line here and determine what kind of precipitation you'll get as well. If the freezing line is pretty much halfway through the air, it'll still fall as rain, but it'll freeze halfway down, so you get like a sleet grapple type situation. And then if it's freezing all the way up into the clouds, it'll condense down as snow. Now, freezing rain causes a whole lot of issues there. You have issues with power lines because it'll weigh down and people will lose power. You have issues with trees because all that added weight on the limbs will cause the branches to fall off. We had an ice storm up in South Bend, where I'm from, before the semester, and we lost a lot of limbs because of all that extra weight that was caused by the ice. Also, you got to worry about road conditions. Road conditions can turn into an ice rink. It's very scary, and same with walking. I've fallen numerous times because of freezing rain. So that's a little about the formation of freezing rain there. I'll send it back to the desk.
All right, Jack, thank you so much. Hey, Justin Bieber is out with a new Crocs and Socks collaboration. Let's take a look at this right here. It features a Crocs classic clog with tall white socks from Bieber's clothing line, which is called Drew House. And you know what? It'll be selling for $69.99, and it will be launching on Tuesday. Could you wear something like that, Lib?
Probably.
Yeah.
I would want to.
What about you, Ryan? Will it be good weather for that type of sock right there?
Maybe, maybe not. It depends on how you look at it. But if you do look at these these temperatures, it's going to be slightly above normal. It's not going to be as warm as it has been, but it will be above normal for the week.
All right, Ryan, thank you so much. Have a good weekend, everyone.